temporary like base, you know, a temporary outpost they set up there. Read.
And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not.
Right, see, so when Saul went to inquire of the Lord, he was scared when he seen that Philistine encampment, that army sitting there, because they were sitting there setting up, plotting and waiting for when they was going to roll on Israel. So Saul seen that, he got scared, so he went to talk to the Most High. But the Most High had been departed from Saul since the day that basically David was anointed king by Samuel, the same man that anointed Saul to be king. Read.
The Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets.
Right, so even the Urim and the Thummim, which is basically today, you call it the crystal ball, which the Levites had that. Today, basically that's where the concept of the TV comes from. It goes back to the Thummim and the Urim, which is the crystal ball, and basically the Lord would beam the vision of what actually happened right into the Urim and the Thummim, and the high priests and the Levites that were there would see it, and then they would make the judgment off of that. It's basically like you put a tape in a VCR and you're winding back the play. You rewinding back what happened. You're rewinding back the past. That's what the Thummim and the Urim is, and that's what the concept of the TV is. We're dealing with the Thummim and the Urim right now. It's called the basically the camera, because this is in the camera. This is basically in the past now. It's going to be uploaded a day or two from now, so basically you're going to see the past.
Right. Yep.
That's basically the concept of the Urim and the Thummim. Read on.
Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor.
Right, now notice he said, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit, meaning that she deals with the spirits. She deals with that shit. She deals with the left-hand side. And the woman was at Endor. Quick note, in the movie, I believe it was Star Wars. I think it was Empire Strikes Back. When Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca and them, they went to a moon. One of the moons was called the moon at Endor, because they got that name from what? Out of here in the scriptures. Read that again. That's just a footnote. And he went to inquire.
And his servant. Oh, okay. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up whom I shall name unto thee.
Right, now hold off there. Now it tells you what did Saul do. Saul went to this witch. What he did, he disguised himself. Doesn't it ring a bell? Halloween, wearing a disguise, consulting familiar spirits. He put a disguise on, but really he did that because he had put out a decree earlier that to remove them wizards and them that deal with necromancy and familiar spirits, remove them out the land. So now everyone knew who Saul was. So if he went before her, she wouldn't have told him what he wanted to know. So he put on a disguise to go before this woman, the witch at Endor. Read.
And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest that Saul has done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits.
Now she made mention of what Saul, she told this man, you know what the decree that King Saul put out, about how he cut off those that deal with familiar spirits. So she was basically, in hiding with it. She wasn't out there in the open. See, today, October 31st, 2009, these motherfuckers are out in the open with this bullshit. Consulting these familiar spirits. Hell, when we're at the camp, or when we're at 34th, hell, the next block over, there's somebody, a medium set up out there with a sign, come and get your future ready.
Yep.
Right, hell, right across the street.
Faithfully, too.
Faithfully, and they're out there, and they're getting money because they wouldn't be open. And to set up a little spot or a little storefront in Manhattan is dope. So they getting paper because they wouldn't be able to afford that high-ass rent down there in Manhattan. So they making money.
And we was on 34th Street. Used to be a lot of people coming up with pamphlets.
Yeah.
Talking about get your palm read and all that stuff.
Yep. Them that consult with familiar spirits. Read.
Thou knowest what Saul has done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing.
Right, now, he's the one who put out the decree to get rid of the witches. Now, she was bringing it up, making mention of it, that she didn't want to get fucked up by Saul. And here's Saul telling her, look, ain't nothing going to happen to you. I swear by the Lord. He did this because why? The Lord didn't answer him. Because basically, the Lord basically dissed Saul. After Saul disobeyed the Lord for the third time, then Samuel basically cursed him out. If you know where it's at, get it. Samuel cursed him out and told him, this is the third time that you disobeyed the Lord. Don't you know if you would have listened, the Lord would have established you as king of Israel forever?
Yeah.
And then it said, the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and the evil spirit from the Lord troubled him from that point on. So that's why Saul was doing what he was doing. Because the Most High wasn't dealing with him no more. The Most High he basically was spewed out the Most High's mouth. What?
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And
right, so he told the woman to conjure up it divine unto me, meaning what? He told her to conjure up the spirit of Samuel. And that's basically what she did. She went and conjured up Samuel's spirit. They do that, they conjure spirits in Haiti, and they do it in the Dominican Republic, which is the same fucking place. It's just the other side of the island. They're into what? They're into brujeria, they call it witchcraft, voodoo, santeria, conjuring up those spirits. And they worship all those different damn saints. They worship all them different statues, and you go into the Botanica and they got all those different candles with basically the whole Borgias clan is on those candles, and all throughout the whole Botanica is the Borgias family. If you get any pictures on Caesar Borgias, Lucrezia Borgia, Pope Callictus, which was his father, Rodrigo Borgia, his uncles, cousins, those are the ones that are on all those pictures that are in the Botanicas, the so-called Last Supper. Those are the people that are all sitting there around a piece of fucking pig. In that picture they got of the Last Supper with this dude, fucking Caesar Borgia. Go ahead, read on.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul.
Right. So the woman, she did what she did, and she conjured up Samuel's spirit. And then she realized that it was King Saul that had her do it, and she's like, why did you deceive me? She was scared shitless, because she thought something was about to go down. This witch was scared shitless, man. Go ahead.
And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
Yeah, the woman said unto Saul, he seen gods ascending out of the earth. He seen them spirits. Read.
And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me?
Right, so Samuel was fucking pissed off at the fact that Saul had this bitch call him from out of the spiritual world and bring him this way. He was the spirit, but he was conjured up to come into this world where he could be seen and heard. So he was like, what is you fucking with me for, Saul? What is you bothering with me for? Because you know why? He was at rest and he was happy. When you go into the spirit and you're with the Most High, you ain't pissed off. You're not mad. You're at rest and you're happy. So he disturbed Samuel's rest. Read.
And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more.
Right, so he conjured up the spirit of Samuel because this Philistines was about to roll on him, and he called unto the Most High, and the Most High wouldn't answer him. So the only link that he had to the Most High that he could remember was who? Samuel, that anointed him to be the king of Israel back then. So he figured, look, let me talk to Samuel. Maybe Samuel, could let me know what's going on, because he is the one that anointed me king before. Read.
And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do.
Right, so Samuel asked him, he said, look, man, what the fuck is you conjuring, disturbing my rest for? Then Saul told him, look, the Lord